Imagine a country called Japan. You see bright lights in Shinjuku, bullet trains traveling at 300 kilometers per hour, and high-tech vending machines everywhere. People around the world believe Japan is a convenient and modern country. But under this cool system, there are very old-fashioned and conservative money rules. When you land at Narita or Haneda Airport, you might think, I am finally in the most advanced country in the world. However, that feeling is often broken for a very simple and basic reason. You trust your new iPhone or your international credit card. But at a train ticket machine or a small local restaurant, you face a hard reality. Sorry, cash only. For modern travelers used to digital life, these words are a shock. In a world where you can travel with Apple Pay, why does this high-tech country still use paper and metal? Why do Japanese people trust a heavy wallet more than numbers on a screen? This story is not just a travel guide. It is a look into the deep mind of Japan, a financial island that has changed in its own unique way. Chapter 1: Analog Sanctuary Under a High-Tech Mask. As of 2026, the rate of cashless payments in Japan has finally reached 42.8%. Japan hit the government's goal of 40%, but compared to other countries, Japan is very strange. In South Korea, cashless use is almost 99%, and in China, it's over 83%. In the UK and USA, it is 60% to 80%. Japan is rare among advanced countries because more than half of all payments are still made with cash. Why is cash so strong? The biggest reason is perfect trust. Japanese bills are like art and very hard to fake. The new 2024 bills use the world's first 3D hologram. Because people believe these bills are never fake and always have value, they don't feel the need to change to digital money. Also, safety supports this system. In 2025, statistics show that if you lose your wallet in Japan, there is a very high chance it will be returned with the cash still inside. In other countries, people use cashless because carrying a lot of cash is dangerous. But in Japan, even if you walk with $1,000 in your pocket at midnight, you are usually safe. Because it is safe to carry cash, Japanese people did not feel a rush to go digital. A slowing clock, the aging society. But cash is not just about a good story. It is also about a serious problem, the aging society. Today, about 30% of people in Japan are 65 or older. These seniors hold about 60% of Japan's 2,200 trillion yen in private wealth, and 40% of that is held by people over 70. For them, money must be physical. Stacks of bills, heavy coins, and paper bank books are the results of their hard work. It gives them peace of mind. In 2025, a study showed that while young people use QR codes and cards, over 70% of people over 70 still prefer cash. For them, paying with a phone is not just hard to learn. It feels like the feeling of paying money is gone. This makes them feel worried. These seniors are a big part of the economy and often own local shops. You can buy an expensive watch with a card in Ginza, Tokyo. But if you go 1 hour away to a local fruit shop, you need coins. The shop owners are also older, and they prefer cash over paying fees for card machines. The last shield, just in case. Another big reason why Japanese people keep cash is disasters. Japan has many earthquakes, typhoons, and floods. People know that if the power goes out or the internet fails, a smartphone becomes just a piece of glass and credit cards stop working. During the 2024 Noto earthquake, many people were saved because they had cash when cashless systems failed. This lesson is deep in the minds of Japanese people. No matter how much technology grows, they keep some cash in their wallets. In this land of earthquakes, it is a basic survival skill. The sleeping 2,200 trillion yen, the religion of saving. Here is a fact that travelers find hard to understand. Japanese people almost never invest. Even in 2025, more than 50% of family wealth in Japan is kept in cash or bank savings. In the US, it is about 13%, and in Europe, it is 30%. While Americans try to make money work by investing, Japanese people keep their money sleeping in the bank. Why? It comes from the trauma of the 1990 bubble burst. When Japan was at its richest, everyone bought stocks and land. But when the bubble popped, many people lost everything. The people who saw that hell are now the seniors. They told their children, investing is gambling. The bank is the safest place. If you put $10,000 in a Japanese bank, you might only get $1 in interest per year. Even if prices go up, Japanese people hated taking risks. This way of thinking stopped the economy from growing, but it created a quiet and peaceful society. But now, things are changing. In 2026, Japan is finally moving toward a world with interest rates. Prices are rising, and people realize they cannot protect their wealth just by saving. In this video, we will look at how travelers should act between this changing Japan and the old Japan. Let's start by looking at the real money walls you will hit as soon as you arrive. Chapter 2: The Payment Border. When traveling in Japan, your smartphone is your strongest weapon. Deep under Tokyo, in the maze of Shinjuku Station, you can move freely just by tapping your phone. If you are thirsty, you just touch a vending machine with your phone to get cold green tea. It feels so smooth that you might think physical money has disappeared from this country. But that thought is the biggest trap for travelers. On Japan's financial map, there is a giant invisible border. It is where city convenience hits country tradition. In Chapter 2, we will show you a survival story of the two faces of Japan that guidebooks never tell you about. Japan's train system is like the most perfect clock in the world. But even in this perfect system, there are gaps. If you jump on a bullet train from Tokyo and head to a hidden hot spring in the mountains, you will face your first test. The digital Suica or Pasmo cards that worked everywhere in the city will suddenly lose their power. Japan's train network is a complex mix of JR and many small local companies. Outside the big cities, there are many lines that do not have IC card readers. Some local lines only accept their own special cards. If you arrive at a station that doesn't take cards, a manual ritual waits for you. The station staff will write a paper note by hand. You must pay the fare in cash. Then, later, you have to go back to a big city station to have them fix your card's digital record. Your digital trip suddenly becomes analog paperwork. This is not because Japan is behind. It is the real reality of keeping local transport alive in the deep countryside. Next, let's talk about the food sanctuary. Japan has legendary restaurants that attract food lovers from all over the world. One meal can cost hundreds of dollars, and you might wait months for a seat. But at the door of such a top-class restaurant, you might see a tiny sign: cash only. Why do the best restaurants in an advanced country say no to credit cards? There are practical reasons and old habits. For many owners, the 3% to 5% fee they must pay to card companies is not just a cost, it is a choice about pride. They think, should I buy lower quality sea urchin for my guests, or should I pay the card fee? For them, that small percentage is the money they need to buy the best fish tomorrow. Also, there is an old idea in Japan that cash is the most honest way to pay. You confirm the value right there and receive it with a thank you. The weight of cash in your hand feels more real than digital numbers. This is what supports the freshness of Japan's world-famous food culture. There is another strong power that keeps cash alive: the senior generation. As you go deeper into the countryside, the main characters of the town are people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. For them, paying with a phone feels more like scary magic than a convenience. They trust the feel of a 1,000 yen bill inside a well-used leather wallet. For small local shops, the customers are the seniors living nearby. Forcing them to use cashless would break the connection of the community. The owners choose not to use the newest machines. Instead, they let the seniors count their coins while enjoying a short chat. This kind slowness creates a unique flow of time in rural Japan that you won't find anywhere else. To win in this complex money maze, here is the wisdom you need. 1. The 10,000 yen bill is a weapon, but sometimes too heavy. The 10,000 yen bill, about $70, is trusted everywhere. But on buses or at small vending machines, this heavy weapon cannot be used. Always keep 5 1,000 yen bills in your pocket for small deals. 2. Convenience stores are modern oases. Japanese convenience stores, especially 7-Eleven, are lifesavers. You don't need to wander around looking for an ATM. Their ATMs work 24 hours and let you take out yen with your foreign card. If you are in trouble, look for the green and red sign. 3. The irony of charging your IC card with cash. Here is a fact that shocks people used to digital life. At old station machines, you cannot use a credit card to put money on your physical IC card. You need cash to charge your digital card. Be ready for this strange rule. 4. Enjoy the ASMR of your change. When Japanese people give you change, they always show you the amount and put it on a small tray politely. The sound and the movement are part of Japanese hospitality. Don't think of coins as a problem. Enjoy it as a cultural experience. 5. Keep a backup for your digital Suica. Using Suica on your iPhone is smart, but if your battery dies, you cannot leave the train station. If you go to the countryside, bring a battery charger or keep some physical cash just in case. The cash-only scenes you see in Japan are a sign of the people's pride and kindness. They are trying not to be swallowed by the wave of efficiency. It is easy to complain that it is inconvenient, but opening your wallet, picking a local coin, and handing it to a kind shopkeeper, that short moment has a feeling. It is a real touch of travel that you can never get by just tapping a screen. Now that you have the wisdom to enjoy the inconvenience, you are ready for the next mystery. Why are these cash-loving, careful Japanese people now breaking their own rules and jumping into investing? In Chapter 3, we will see the story of how Japanese people are finally changing their minds after 30 years of silence. Chapter 3. The End of Savings Money. In Japanese bank accounts, there is a giant treasure that investors all over the world want. The amount is 2,200 trillion yen. But for decades, this huge wealth has stayed frozen, never moving at all. Why have Japanese people cared more about protecting money than growing it? We will look at the fear of investing hidden in the Japanese DNA and the big changes in 2026 that are finally melting that ice. Our story goes back over 30 years to 1990. At that time, Japan was at the top of the world. During the crazy bubble era, people said that if you sold all the land in Tokyo, you could buy the entire United States. Regular workers bought stocks with their bonuses, and students talked about investing in buildings. But the magic disappeared overnight. Stock prices crashed, and land values dropped by more than half. People who were millionaires yesterday became debtors with huge loans today. The pain Japanese people felt back then was not just about losing money. It became a permanent curse. Investing is a scary gamble that ruins your life. The people who saw this hell are the seniors who hold most of Japan's wealth today. They have taught their children and grandchildren like a final wish. Do not touch investing. Trust only the money you earned with your own sweat. If you keep it in the bank, at least it won't become zero. This is how a national faith in savings was born. Usually, if bank interest is zero, people would rush to invest because they fear inflation, rising prices. But Japan had a special situation: deflation. You might not believe it, but in Japan, prices almost never went up for 30 years. In fact, things got cheaper. Something you could buy for 100 yen was still 100 yen 10 years later. So there was no need to take risks and invest. Keeping cash was the safest way to protect your money. While enjoying the safety of stable prices, Japanese people's sense of money moved away from the rest of the world. No investing, no challenges. They felt safe just seeing that the numbers in their bank book did not go down. This quiet stop lasted for 30 years. However, in the 2020, everything changed. Energy prices went up globally, and the yen became very weak. The prices in Japan, which had been sleeping for 30 years, finally woke up. Bread that was 100 yen yesterday became 150 yen. This means the value of the money in the bank dropped by 1/3. Japanese people finally realized keeping money in the bank cannot protect it. In fact, just holding it makes me lose money. The faith in cash they kept for so long has finally started to break. At this time, the government started a new system in 2024 called new NISA. Under this system, you don't have to pay any taxes on the profit you make from investing. It was a dream for investors, but it was also a cold message from the government. The country can no longer take care of your old age. Please make your own money work. The young generation, who did not see the bubble burst, reacted first. They ignored their parents' old advice and learned about investing on YouTube. They started moving their money into global and US stocks. The old rule of saving is right is being replaced by the new rule of investing is protecting. But a big wall remains. Most of the 2,200 trillion yen wealth is still held by seniors who refuse to invest. To them, investing still looks like a monster that makes people unhappy. No matter how hard banks explain, they won't open their hearts' safes. Japan's aging society is not just about a lack of workers. It's a money blockage where wealth is stuck and not used for new challenges. Whether this silent 1,000 trillion yen moves or sleeps until it is inherited, will decide Japan's future. Japanese people are finally waking up from a 30-year sleep. The inconvenient cash culture is being updated by digital waves, and the old faith in savings is being replaced by new investment knowledge. People who were once too careful have finally taken their first step toward the future of money. It is not a crazy rush like the old bubble, but a quiet, smart, and strong step forward. So, in this changing world, what should we as travelers learn and do? Next, we will give you the final answer to make your trip to Japan the best it can be. Your guide for Japan in 2026. We have traveled through the strange money puzzles of Japan. It is a country with the best technology, yet it still loves paper and metal cash. It is a place with huge wealth, yet that money has been sleeping in banks for years. But the story does not end here. Now, in 2026, we are at a big turning point in history. The 30-year quiet time is over, and Japan is finally starting a new journey. In this final chapter, we will give you the ultimate survival guide to enjoy Japan deeply and smartly. We will also look at the true face of Japan through the lens of money. First, I have some great news. Even in the countryside, where only cash worked before, digital payments are growing fast. Thanks to government plans and apps like PayPay, you can now pay with your phone even at mountain campsites or small hotels on faraway islands. But the important part is how it spread. It wasn't like the US or Europe, where credit cards changed everything. In Japan, people skipped cards and went straight to smartphone payments linked to their bank or convenience store. This is Japan's unique answer to its complex system. Travelers, you don't need to worry anymore. Try your phone first. If it doesn't work, then use cash. This is the new standard in Japan. Here are the 7 money tools you should have when you visit Japan in 2026. With these, you will be fine anywhere. 1. Digital Suica Double Setup. Putting your Suica or Passmo card in your Apple or Android wallet is a must. But here is a secret tip. Keep a physical IC card with a few thousand yen in your bag as a backup. If your phone battery dies in Tokyo's huge subway maze, you are in big trouble. An analog backup is your best friend. 2. Basecamp. 7 Bank. Don't waste time looking for ATMs on the street. If you see the red 7-Eleven sign, that is your bank. In 2026, these ATMs are even better. Some use face recognition or touchless tech. Don't worry about the fee. Take out 30,000 to 50,000 yen at once. That is the rule of a smart traveler. 3. The coin sort skill. Japan has many types of coins, and it can be confusing at the register. Put your 1 yen and 5 yen coins into donation boxes at temples. Keep your 10, 50, 100, and 500 yen coins in a small coin case. If you can handle coins, you win the game at the register. 4. Otoshi is the entry fee. Don't be angry if a small dish you didn't order appears at an izakaya. This is called otoshi. It is a seating fee and a way to say thank you for the service since Japan has no tipping. It costs about 300 to 500 yen and lets you taste the season. 5. Avoid the tax-free trap. Tax-free shopping is now digital. You show your passport and scan a QR code. But be careful, if the name on your credit card and the name on your passport do not match exactly, the shop might say no. Watch out when using a family member's card. 6. Love the numbered ticket on local buses. On buses that don't take cards, you take a small paper with a number on it. You check that number with the screen at the front to see your price. This puzzle is the real feeling of traveling in rural Japan. 7. Talk to the new NISA generation. If you meet young Japanese people at a pub, ask them about money. For the first time in history, they are excited about investing. Their ideas about stocks and the economy are totally different from the old savings first generation. This is the real heartbeat of modern Japan. In this story, we have said aging society many times. It might sound like a bad or slow thing, but if you look closely, you see a different side. Instead of leaving seniors behind, Japan keeps cash as an option for them. Or they make QR payment apps very, very simple so seniors can use them. This is Japan's kindness in a world that only cares about speed. Being slow is sometimes the cost of not leaving anyone behind. Japan is facing this challenge first, but other countries will follow. Japan's slow digital change is actually a search for a more human technology. Our journey through Japan's money world is almost at the final station. Japanese money is not just a tool for trade. It is the pride of workers who make perfect bills. It is the honesty of citizens who return lost wallets. And it is the courage of young people trying to start a new era after 30 years of quiet. When you pay with a 1,000 yen bill or hear the ping of a smartphone payment, you are touching Japan's history, its present, and its future. It is easy to laugh at old cash habits as inconvenient, but when you feel the touch and the human connection inside that inconvenience, and the deep trust, your trip becomes something more than just sightseeing. It becomes a deep experience. Japan is changing now. 2,200 trillion yen is starting to move, and a new wind is blowing through the sanctuary of cash. When you visit Japan next time, the view might be a little different. No one knows exactly how much more digital Japan will become, or how the whole country will change. But no matter how much technology grows, the Japanese spirit of respecting others and handling money with honesty will never change. Thank you for joining this journey into the mystery of Japanese money. How do you handle money in your country? What did you think of Japan's unique story? Please tell us your story in the comments. If this video helps make your next trip to Japan better, we are very happy. See you in the next story. Goodbye.